All right, buckle up. Because today we are diving into some seriously wild territory. We are talking reptilian overlords.
Oh, yeah, lizard people.
Exactly. I know it sounds like something straight out of, like, the wildest sci-fi movie marathon ever.
Right.
But you would not believe how much this topic captures people's imagination.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It really is. And the listeners have been all over this one, so we're going to get to the bottom of it. This whole idea of these shape-shifting elites secretly running the world from the shadows, it's a bit out there, right?
It's definitely out there, but that doesn't mean it's not worth exploring. I mean, where do we even begin with this? It's a lot to unpack. But to be fair, sometimes the most fascinating journeys start in the most unexpected places, wouldn't you say?
Well, absolutely. And I think that's what's so intriguing about this. It's this blend of ancient mysteries and like these mind-bending possibilities.
It really is.
So where do we even start? I mean, is this a modern invention, this whole reptilian overlord thing, or does it go back further?
Well, to understand the modern take on it, you kind of got to go back in time, way back. We're talking ancient Sumerian tablets and the work of a guy named Zecharia Sitchin.
Oh, okay.
Now, Sitchin, he claimed that these ancient tablets, they told stories of these extraterrestrials, these beings called the Anunnaki.
Right, I've heard of them.
Yeah, and according to Sitchin, these Anunnaki, they visited Earth like ages ago, and get this, they supposedly meddled with human evolution.
Oh, okay, so they weren't just like casual observers.
Yeah, no. They were like tinkering with our DNA kind of visitors.
That's something else.
Yeah, and maybe even, some people even say that they're the reason we have civilization as we know it.
Oh, wow, so they're like the OG ancient astronauts, the Anunnaki.
Exactly, the original influencers, if you will.
Okay, I like it. But how do we get from like ancient aliens to, well, lizard people calling the shots? It seems like a bit of a jump.
Well, that leap, it came about in the 1990s with this guy, David Icke.
Right, David Icke.
You've probably heard of him.
Oh, yeah.
Big name in the conspiracy world.
Yeah, he's got some interesting theories.
He took this whole Anunnaki idea and he was like, hold on, I'm going to add a twist. And his big twist, his curveball, was that some of these Anunnaki, they weren't just extraterrestrial, they were reptilian.
Okay, so they're already messing with our DNA. Now they're giant lizard people.
That's what he's saying. And that they're out there disguised, blending in, as the global elite.
Right.
Pulling the strings, orchestrating world events for their own benefit, he says.
Wow. Okay, so we're talking like full-on cosmic conspiracies at play here. Like, this is I don't even know, this is like Men in Black level stuff, but even more intense.
It's a lot. It's a lot to take in.
Ancient battles and secret pacts for control of Earth. A hidden lineage of lizard people calling the shots.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can see why this is so captivating.
Oh, absolutely. It's a wild ride, that's for sure. But here's the thing. There's a distinction to be made between the Anunnaki and Icke's reptilians.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because while the Anunnaki, they're often depicted as, giant humanoids.
Right.
Icke's reptilians, they're more, reptilian.
Okay, so we're talking scales and tails and all that.
Exactly.
Okay, so we're not just talking about some overgrown iguanas in suits, like hanging out at the UN.
No. It's a whole other level.
This is a whole other level of weird.
It is.
Okay, so we've got these ancient astronaut reptilians potentially meddling in human affairs.
Yeah.
But what do they actually look like?
Yeah, I mean, you can't exactly blend in with the crowd when you've got scales and a tail, right?
Right.
Well, that's where the theories get really out there. Like, picture this. 2 to 3 meters tall.
Oh, wow.
Easily 120 to 250 kilograms.
This is massive.
Oh, yeah. We're talking about a creature twice your size with green, scaly skin, these piercing yellow-green eyes, and the strength. Forget about it. We're talking superhuman strength here.
Okay, so they're like the ultimate predators.
Basically. And get this. Some even describe them as androgynous, making it even harder to pin down their appearance.
So, hold on. We're talking massive, super strong, potentially gender-bending lizard people roaming around.
Mm-hmm.
How on earth could they possibly go unnoticed?
Well, that's where the theories get even wilder.
Okay, does it get wilder than this?
Oh, you bet. A lot of these theories, they claim that these reptilians, they possess, like, this super advanced technology tech that allows them to shapeshift.
Shapeshift. Okay, so like Mystique from X-Men.
Kind of, but we're not talking about, like, simple illusions or anything like that.
All
We're
right.
talking about manipulating matter at a molecular level, like completely altering their physical form to blend in.
Full on rewriting their DNA on the fly.
Hmm.
Changing your physical form at a cellular level, that's some seriously next level stuff.
It's wild, right? Some theories even suggest they use holographic projections or like manipulate bioelectricity to mask their true form.
So it's like they have this cloaking device.
Yeah, something like that. We do have to acknowledge, though, for all these wild theories, there's a real lack of concrete evidence.
I mean, I was going to say, if they're really that good at hiding, wouldn't that explain why we haven't seen any hard proof?
Precisely. It's a classic catch-22. But hey, let's say, for the sake of this deep dive, that there is something to these outlandish claims. Where would these beings even come from?
That's a good question. What are the theories? Extraterrestrial? Or are they homegrown right here on Earth?
Well, there are a couple of schools of thought on that. Some folks, they point to the stars, specifically the Alpha Draconis star system.
Okay, and they think that these reptilians are like extraterrestrial visitors,
Hmm.
like tourists. But not the fun kind, I'm guessing.
Not quite. Some believe that these reptilians might be part of a larger galactic community, something called the Galactic Federation.
Hold on, the Galactic Federation. That rings a bell. Remind me what that is again.
Yeah, so the Galactic Federation, it's like supposedly this alliance of like super advanced civilizations throughout the galaxy.
Right.
And some believe that they play a role in, guiding less developed planets, helping them evolve, or in some cases, maybe not so much helping.
Okay, so kind of like a cosmic United Nations, but with potentially more at stake than just trade agreements.
Yeah, exactly.
So we've got the extraterrestrial angle.
Yeah.
What about the Earth-based theory? Like, did they evolve alongside humanity?
That's another possibility some researchers entertain. Some theories suggest that these reptilians, they're not extraterrestrial at all. They actually evolved right here on Earth from dinosaurs. Specifically, a species called Troodon.
Wait, Troodon, weren't those the brainy ones?
Exactly.
Oh.
Troodons, they were known for their relatively large brain size, and they had binocular vision, kind of like us, which has led some researchers to believe that they were among the most intelligent dinosaurs.
Oh, okay, so imagine what if, like, a group of Troodons, they survived the extinction event, and they just, like, went underground, continued to evolve right under our noses.
Right, and over time they developed incredible intelligence and, maybe a thing for shape-shifting.
So not just descendants of dinosaurs, but potentially the masterminds we've been talking about all along.
It's a wild thought, isn't it?
It is. And it just keeps getting more intriguing. It's funny you mentioned dinosaurs evolving alongside humans because it made me think about something else. We're talking ancient aliens, lost civilizations, all this talk about reptilian beings. Are we seeing echoes of this, like reptilian imagery throughout history?
Yeah.
Like in mythology and stuff?
Oh, absolutely. You're definitely onto something there. The image of the reptilian, often depicted as like a deity or some kind of supernatural being, it pops up in cultures all around the world.
Okay, yeah, give me some examples. What kind of figures are we talking about?
We'll take Quetzalcoatl, for example.
Okay.
The Aztecs. They had this feathered serpent god, a bringer of knowledge, wisdom.
Right.
Now imagine a creature shimmering feathers, scales, like glinting in the sun, descending from the sky to like impart ancient secrets to humankind.
Yeah, the feathered serpent god bringing knowledge from the sky. That's such a powerful image. And it makes you wonder, like, what did these ancient cultures actually experience? What did they see that we've maybe lost touch with?
Right. And it makes you think, like, were they really just making this stuff up? Or were they trying to explain something that they just didn't have the words for?
Exactly. So we've got Quetzalcoatl. What other reptilian figures pop up throughout history?
Well, you've got ancient Egypt with Sobek, the crocodile-headed god, associated with power, fertility. Then you've got dragons, right?
Oh, yeah. Dragons are everywhere.
Everywhere. Chinese mythology, Babylonian mythology, often depicted as these, powerful, divine beings. And then there's the Nagas in Hinduism, often seen as protectors of sacred places, closely tied to water, creation.
Right. And what about Osunmer, the rainbow serpent in the African Yoruba tradition?
Yes. Another powerful deity, often associated with creation, the very essence of life. And you see this pattern, It's incredible when you think about it. These cultures, separated by like oceans of time and distance, all sharing this common thread of reptilian imagery.
Yeah, it's not just one or two cultures. It's like a global phenomenon.
Exactly. I mean, it really makes you wonder if it's more than just a coincidence, right?
It really does. It really does make you think. Like, are these figures purely mythological? Or could they be based on, real encounters with beings that ancient people just couldn't explain?
Right, because how do you explain a being with, like, advanced technology to people who haven't even discovered the wheel yet, you know?
Yeah, it seemed like gods.
Right.
I mean, that's the other thing. Are these reptilian figures, if they do exist, are they benevolent? Are they here to guide us? Or is it something a little more sinister?
Well, that's where things get really interesting and maybe a little unsettling.
Oh, okay. I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
There's a theory, and it's a big part of, like, the David Icke school of thought, that some of these reptilian beings, they feed off of human energy.
They feed off of us. What does that even mean?
Well, and get this, they particularly, supposedly, feed off of negative emotions.
What, like our fear and anxiety? They use that as fuel.
That's the theory, and it's a concept that's been linked to some pretty dark stuff throughout history, like human sacrifice in ancient cultures, you know?
Okay, that took a dark turn.
It did, didn't it? But it makes you wonder, doesn't it?
It really does.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the big question is, are we talking about inherently like malevolent beings, or is this more of a survival thing? Like I'm thinking about, predators in nature. We might demonize them, but they're just playing their role, right?
Yeah, that's a really interesting point, and it raises a huge question. Are these reptilian beings, are they driven by malice? Or are they just wired differently? Like maybe they have a different set of motivations that we, with our limited human understanding, just don't fully grasp.
Right. It might not be black and white, good versus evil like we see in the movies. Maybe there are different agendas at play, just like with us.
Exactly. And you've got to remember, too, that within any species, there's going to be variation, right? Just like you have saints and sinners in the human world, there might be good reptilians and bad reptilians.
That's a really good point. And while it's definitely entertaining, even a little terrifying, to think about these possibilities, it's important to remember this is all speculation.
Oh, absolutely. We're deep in the realm of speculation here.
But isn't that the beauty of these deep dives?
It really is. Sometimes the journey is just as exciting as mind-blowing as the destination.
Absolutely. So to our listeners out there, we've gone from ancient Sumerian tablets to shape-shifting overlords, from the possibility of reptilian beings influencing human evolution to maybe even feeding off our energy. We've explored ancient myths, modern conspiracies, and everything in between. It's been a wild ride.
It really has. And who knows what mysteries are still out there waiting to be uncovered, right?
Exactly. So until next time, keep those eyes peeled and those minds open, because the truth, as they say, is often stranger than fiction. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, everyone.
See you next time.